Hey guys. Hey people. I don't know how many people are here. Can you guys hear me? Okay. I'm still putting on my eyeliner or my mascara on one eye. So we're in process. How's everybody doing this Saturday evening? Unless if you're in Australia or New Zealand or one of those. How's everybody? Hey Matthew. Nice to see ya. Angel. Oh my god, what a relief to see your name. I'm going to have a moderator. So I should be transcribing for this story I'm working on. Oh, Connor, hello. I've never seen your face. Or if I have, I've forgotten and I apologize deeply. Um, so Angel and Athena, oh my goodness, you guys, Angel and Athena are moderating. You should be afraid. Rainy Sunday here in New Zealand. Hi, Carrie. What time is it there? I used to do a D&D campaign with one of my best friends who lives in Melbourne, and we would do it at my time about like 5 a.m. I would stay up and we'd do that. All right. Hang on, let me throw some stuff over on this side and we'll be good. Let's do some things real quick. And I will be right back. Hi, Ash. Oh, guys, don't stay up late just to watch me yell at people. Like, that's stupid. Yeah, Nancy's from New Zealand. Hello. Okay. Yes, Nancy is fabulous. I agree. Okay. So if you guys were there for I know Carrie was there. I know a couple of you were there for the fucking clusterfuck of last night's stream. I've been having something on my thoughts for just got here in time for a unique video about the makeup styles of the Beatles' wives and girlfriends. Do Patty first. Well, Patty would be the easiest because Patty did write-ins with the U.S. magazine regularly. So she started with like body care, what you eat, and then did hair, like skincare, hair, and then makeup. And makeup was done in two different. So she had like face and complexion, and then eyes. So that would actually be easy because she's given us kind of like step-by-step breakdown. Sin and Maureen, you just have to be going by photos. Her hair commercials were extremely iconic. But yeah, anyway, so I was thinking about some stuff after last night's apocryphal, disturbing, very weird. I'm just kidding, it wasn't that disturbing, it was just fun. Live stream, and I'm just like, it's something that you come up against all the time if you're anywhere. So if you're older than 65 or if you're under 30, you're going to get one of two things. You're too young to love the Beatles, or you weren't there so you don't know, which is really annoying. Or, oh my God, shut up. We know that you were there. You don't matter. Oh my God. Okay. And so there's a lot of like ageism on both sides of Beatle fans. And I'm getting quite sick of it. No, well, yeah, but like I have been thinking a lot lately about the Beatles' legacy and who inherits it. And the releases, like I saw this a lot with the anthology release and the reaction to it not being Rubber Soul instead. And fans, the cash grab, like mindset of every Beatles release being a cash grab, which I mean, yeah, I don't know how to break this really difficult news to you guys. The Beatles is a business now. It's not a band anymore. Like the Beatles is a business now. It's so um everything. Val, I appreciate Beatles fans because there are a lot of Beatle haters. Well, like here's the thing. A lot of Beatle fans hate me. Like that's the thing. I don't have any problems with people who don't like the Beatles. They've never been like I just say like the Beatles aren't for everybody, like it's fine. Um it's I've never had someone say like you're stupid for liking the Beatles. No one's ever said that. But I've had people say you're stupid for talking about the Beatles at your age. And because you weren't born um Cynthia made her hair up like that French actress. You mean Bridget Bardot? Every generation is getting new Beatles releases slash remastered. I heard it when I was a teenager in the early 90s too. It's stupid to gatekeep. It's extremely stupid to gatekeep. And I'm seeing it with I'm seeing the same attitude with what authors I'm allowed to like. Like it's allowed at this point. And so here's the thing. This is my experience, right? But it's not just my experience. I know that this is okay. I know that this is like everyone who's at a certain age gets this kind of thing, and everyone at this sort of age gets this kind of thing. And I wish that I was here to say like, "Oh, can't we all be friends?" Um, I feel like no one's ever said that I'm stupid for liking the Beatles. The only thing that I've only been like nagged at or yelled at by Beatles fans, and specifically older Beatles fans. Like it's only so when older Beatle fans get mad at me for talking about older Beatle fans, I'm like, well, then you guys should stop you guys should stop saying mean things to me. And so I get really frustrated about this. And it's like we need to understand something about the amount of work that a lot of young Beatle fans are doing to learn. And like not only because I get a lot of you couldn't possibly understand what it was like. And I'm like, well, you can live in any current generation and not understand what the world is like. It's just, it's just all kinds of things. But I'm so tired of this validity argument. I'm just tired, I guess. Just have feelings. I have feelings about like which authors I can like, which autobiographies I can like, and why if I like one of these girlfriends' books, then I can't be valid at all. It's like I just don't. I'm like so I know that I'm going to challenge myself, and I don't know how long this challenge is going to last. It could be done in the next 8 minutes, but I'm going to challenge myself instead of being condescending, because I think I am condescending, to be more compassionate with people, but we'll see. That's gonna be, something. The Giles Martin thing feels like a grift to me. I don't care how salty it sounds. So, Mark, is it because it's Giles? Because the remasters and the remixes are going to continue happening regardless of who is producing them. So is it because it's Giles that makes it feel like a grift? Because every fan generation deserves to hear the Beatles at the best of the technology, and deserves because when we have re-releases, they always come in like some super deluxe thing with new things that weren't added before or things that we're excited about. So I don't understand like a lot of I don't always like Giles's work. I'm not there's it's not always my favorite mix. I'll have like my whenever I'm doing a song breakdown for Patreon, I find every version that I can. I'll put them in a playlist and I'll listen to them over and over and over and over again. By the way, why were you assuming those records need to be remixed or remastered anyways at this point? Question mark, question mark. They seem to have done pretty good by themselves in their own eras and afterwards. It's the re-releases with more stuff. more information, better sound quality. I don't see the need to, like here's the thing about the old versions and whatever, we c the good news is that, the old versions exist. If you like the old versions better, we can listen to them because, there are versions of Wawa, which I listen Matt, hey, um, we can listen to the older versions. I liked the I don't remember, 2014 version of Wawa better than whatever version. Like, it was so the good news is that all of these things exist, and so we can listen to all of them. You know what I mean? Like, it's fine. It's not I just I don't know. We'll leave it. We'll leave that thought. The problem I have with the anthology is that 4 is only available with the set of the other 3 I already have. I have a sentimental attachment to the copies I have. That's fair. Um, and I agree. I really think it's very dumb and short-sighted of them to only sell a Oh, no. Oh, no. We've got an alt account, Angel. Oh, we got an alt account on here, Angel. So, I don't know. I think we'll just leave it. We'll just leave it. We don't need to do it. There really is. The new mixes by Niles are to bring in younger fans and new fans for kids who wonder what the fuss is all about. Caitlin, I'm not doing it. It is funny though, when people are angry, there are words that people use that are like regularly in their vocabulary. So for me, one of the words is germane. I use that word too much. Like it's like, good Lord, we get it. You found a thesaurus one time and you like the word like that. You like the word myriad, Lars. You're so smart. So sometimes people will use like specific words and it's easy to tell who these people are because of the words that they use. Okay. I think the only albums that need modern remixes are Please Please Me with the Beatles and Rubber Soul just for panning reasons. Hang on real quick. Let me see if I can do something. I wanna see if I can do something real quick, people. Talk amongst yourselves. Thank you. Okay. I've made a decision. Okay, bye, Derek. This is why I have 0 problems with the Beatles 62 to 66 and 66 to 70 remix sets. Are you sure the master would approve you leaving? I hope that that's not serious. I don't think I'm so cool. Do you guys think I think I'm so cool? Sorry, I'm talking to my mod. Okay. So I've been interested in people's dislike with the red and blue albums. It's very weird. Oh, Manos the Hands of oh my god. I haven't watched Mystery Science Theater Manos Hands of Fate in a long time. Underrated and overrated are words that are driving me nuts. Alan, it is so nice to see you here. It'll be nice to have a friendly face. Carrie, I like remixes, but I tend to revert to listening to the original mono mixes. I'm going through the same phase right now. I very much like the original mono the original monos. I love to hear a remix of Hard Day's Night, not gonna lie. Maybe a remaster of the audio of the film or something. Ooh, that would be good. That would be nice, wouldn't it? Why is this doing this to me? Hang on. I'm trying to hide emotes. There we go. I was kind of surprised by some of the like people were really disappointed with that. But I was also not in the habit of listening to all of the versions up against each other at that point when it came out. So I've learned a lot since then. Hmm. You know what? I keep getting shit from people, and I think it might just be the same person talking about because I don't have an issue, hi Colby, with May Pang. And so I support her and any of the girls, um, any partners really, talking about their stories. They should be able to, the Beatles made money off of the girls they wrote music about. They talked about them. They made money off of their experiences. And the girls were dragged through the mud, all of them, good, bad, or ugly, all of them. And I've totally supported Jane Asher in saying, like, I don't ever want to talk about that again. But, um, I there's at least one specific person, I don't know if he just is making, like, extra, YouTube accounts to troll me, or if there's just a lot of them that have a really big issue with me approving of May existing as a human being. Um, and someone said, once, May has never talked about her family. She has a husband and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, well, no shit. Like, of course I wouldn't either. I would, if there was something that was public, you can make it public and then you can keep your children safe from the public eye. Like I would too. And Olivia has always been so slept on, in my opinion. She essentially saved George's life when he got stabbed and no one talks about it. Olivia is just pretty cool. Um, yeah, but, like, on the topic of partners, if there's any that is something that is so misogynistic and sexist, saying that, "Oh, she's just making her dime, she's just," and I even like, begrudgingly, unhappily, I have to apply the same standard f for Francie, even though I don't think that Paul made money off of her. I mean, it's her life, she can write her fucking story. I think it's necessarily true? I don't know, man. But she can make her own it's her life. Like, God forbid someone write a book, you know? And they've had interesting lives, and then God forbid people write a book, we read them. So, is it I don't know. It is just extremely sexist. So if I approve of May Pang, which I do as a person, like for existing as a human being, and I've said it's okay that she shares her photos and she exists and talks about her experience because guess what? If May stopped talking about her experience, we would still be here dragging her out on the dance floor and talking shit about her life. Without her involvement, we would still be saying, "Oh, Yoko got her, involved and then blah 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 and she did this and she did that." We would find something to shit on about her. So, she might as well come in and at least add her own part of the narrative. She does yes, Dynamite JJ. She deserves to be a part of his story just like the other women she was with him during a very hard time in his life. And people who've met May think she's really nice and lovely. And it's in here. It screams of racism because I didn't hear any backlash against Cynthia for her book. I hear it sometimes, but it is from the same. And I'm so sorry for the old white men in this chat because you guys have to know that it's not you, but it's from the same group of old white men that just can't stand a woman talking about things. And it's like, you guys have to understand now that you wouldn't know as much about the Beatles as you do if it weren't for women, right? Like, I'm begging on my hands and knees for, like, the sexism to end, and it's just so it continues against me because and so I possibly can't get can't be an educated person because I am okay with May, and to be extremely clear, because apparently in this person's world, May is connected with the fact about Mark Lewison. I have read Mark Lewison's Tune In book and Tune In Volume 1 Extended. The people I shit on, I've read their stuff. I didn't just not read their shit. Like, I won't shit on someone without knowing what I'm talking about because you can make big mistakes by doing that. So I'm not going to do that. So I don't know. There's an amazing podcast, Olivia George and the Intruder. I think it's Disgraceland. I like Disgraceland. I met she might as well write a book about it. I mean, she could. Her just the slim volume. Yeah, it's so slim. Oh my god, where is it? I have it around here somewhere. Hang on real quick, guys. Where is that thing? Look at how much I didn't read this book. Look at how many notes I didn't make in this book. I stopped doing tabs on this book because I got the extended version, but I already read it. And if you see any post-its in any of my books, then you know that I took notes. Like, look at how much I didn't pay attention to this book. Like, obviously I did. I'm a more recent subscriber, and I admire the amount of research and dedications you have for the Beatles, everything related to them. Lovely vibes. I love the conversation being had here. I'm just very mean, I think, because and the reason why I work as hard as I do is literally because of an I told you so situation. I screwed up on Rubber Soul, my Rubber Soul video, which is an hour long or so, and like all the mistakes I made, people were rightfully pointing them out, and I thought, well, you won't be able to say it next time. You won't be able to say it next time. And every single time I make mistakes. And so it's just me looking at myself in the mirror and saying, don't let them say it next time, Lars. Don't make a fucking mistake next time, Lars. Like, so it's just that stuff. I like to hear that Cynthia and May were friends. I think that says a lot. Lars never said, by the way, my pronouns are they, them. Lars never says they know everything. They are always an open book to learn new things, which is why their work is so good. Thank you. I like when people are mean about their passions. Well, hopefully, you stick around because I'm not getting any nicer. Ash, the books that I recommend right now, I'm really frankly recommending to start with the Beatles anthology book just because it is like a compilation of interviews. So it's everything all in one place, and that's where you start. Then I think in like Time Lord Guy said, Ash Williams, no Beatles book will be completely accurate. And no Beatles book is going to start where it should. Like, so that's the one thing I'm gonna give Lewison, right? And actually I've several things I'll give Lewison because I've already said this a million times. I said it a million times yesterday. I still use his complete Beatles recording sessions because that's not when the big issues started. Like, there was good work done. So I'm not going to take good work away. Like, if you do work and it goes into the public eye, it has to be held up to scrutiny, including my work. My work has to be held up to scrutiny. It's able to be scrutinized, and I make mistakes. They're called out. And then my next video, I work harder to not make the same mistakes. That's part of being a public figure. So I can work and look at work that does hold up to scrutiny, like the Complete Beatles recording sessions, use it along with other sources because I particularly don't trust Lewison as much as I used to. And that's how it goes. But then I can see, oh my God, Ash Williams, I forgot. Okay, my Evil Dead face will continue to haunt me. Do not ever apologize for Evil Dead. Oh my God. Get your chainsaw arm and just live it, Let's see, where is it on here? Like, okay. Move it. Jesus Christ. But anyway, yeah, that's probably 4. All right. But the ultimate goal, honestly, so Ash, start with the Beatles anthology book. It is available on oh my God, no, wait. Never watched the Doctor Who episode with the Beatles, Lars. I have in Enchanted Essays, and I did a live stream on it. Go to Enchanted Essays channel. It's in her live tab. I did. We talked about it. We went through all of it. Um, let's see here. I'm kind of bummed out that the Wings book is McCartney approved because I think that there's a lot of interesting stories, but that we will never get. Paul is understandably very PR. I think that um, Paul is in some ways less PR than we'd expect, but like I'm not particularly because of the Wings being like a family band, it's going to be specifically like very PR. So when we're reading books, you always want to remember who the narrative is serving. So I like Bob Spitz's The Beatles book as like a baby primer Beatles book. But you'll want to as you're reading, you'll want to be looking at those footnotes and seeing like what is this um what is the source material for these things? And then really you're going to want to go and start looking into, I mean, honestly, get The Beatles and the Historians by Erin Torkelson Weber. And she goes through really line by line what are the most impactful pieces in the Beatles narrative, what authors are. And unfortunately, well, never mind. I'm not going to say that. But like I would read that and that will help you decide where you would like to go with what authors and what makes you feel like, okay, this is something I'm interested in doing and this what makes me feel good. But go to archive.org and search the Beatles anthology. The book is right there. It is not easy to read, it is not legible, but and the new book is going to be, but you'll have to pay for it. I'm sure it'll get uploaded. But you know, that's a good start, Ash. I would start there because it's just a lot of compilation stuff. And I think, you know, um, the more I'm learning, the more I'm really wanting to go to like the original sources more than just general authors because a lot of them are becoming less and less and less trustworthy the more I'm learning about them. But, you know, you could probably say the same about me. I work really hard. Oh, I don't want to cry. I take my work really seriously. And I take my love of the Beatles, but also the legacy and the historiography really seriously. And of course, I want to be respected, but the thing is that I have to do work that is worthy of respect. So I work really, really hard to overcome biases and even like people and authors that give me the ick. I work really hard to make spaces, you know, and see what I can find um, and fill in the spaces before then. But ultimately, you know, it's just hard. Let's see here. I appreciate everything that goes into your videos. Thank you. I didn't know the Beatles were on Doctor Who. First episode of Doctor Who came out a day or two shy of With the Beatles. So the Beatles, I don't think specifically them were on there was a Beatles episode of Doctor Who last year, and it was rough. It was very weird. And the wigs were bad. And it was like kind of marketed as the Beatles episode, but the Beatles were barely in it. Which it was a weird choice because it was really more of a 60s episode. We spent with Enchanted Essays and I spent a lot of time talking about the costumes. Sorry, guys. The Hunter Davies book from 68. Yes, it was after the JFK assassination. It's been a long time since I watched it. I think I tried to wipe it from my memory. um God, I just sorry guys. I'm having a moment. Hunter Davies book from 68 started to set the narrative for good or ill. So the thing about Hunter Davies is that he was the authorized biographer, so he spent a lot of time with the Beatles, but also was really very whitewashed in the stories and the 68. So it's like very, you know, squeaky clean. Like, your parents would love to read, they would be like, "Those Beetle Boys are so nice." So it might be a fun read, but when you wanna read those books is when you're like, "Okay, let's look at where the impressions on the Beatles are today, and, like, who impacted that," and that would be the first one. Doctor Who was so good, but that episode isn't the best showcase for the show. I just never got into it. I tried, but and I should be able to get into it considering what kind of nerd I am, but okay. So, anyway, but I do like kind of some of the more authorized books in the way of, like, George Harrison's I Me Mine. I like, uh, Barry Miles's, Many Years From Now. Ringo doesn't have one, but Ringo has Postcards from the Boys. He's got, Another Day in the Life. Like, he's got some other stuff that he's put out, but he's just basically said, you know, "My my book is everything that you see from me." So which means you have to pay attention, and you have to look, you have to dig. I'm working on a Ringo, video. Do you think there are any filmed documentaries that compare well with the books? The film documentaries are probably wind up being better than the books in the way that you can actually see people talking, hear their voices, see the inflection, see videos of the Beatles themselves, find how you're reacting to the media, and, you can kind of, deduce how you feel about it. But documentaries really, there are so many that even as soon as I start listing them, I'm gonna fuck it up. But, like, The Complete Beatles is one that's pretty good. Like, these are like those are kind of original, like, the Beatles' first US visit is great. Obviously, Get Back, I think, is really, like, crucial viewing, and I think if you're really, really, really into the Beatles or learning about the Beatles in themselves and how they work together, I think you need to watch that several times. A Cellar Full of Noise is one of my favorite Beatles books I've read, TBH, but that might just be because of my bias toward Brian. Same here, I love A Cellar Full of Noise, it makes me very sad a little bit that Derek Taylor is basically the ghostwriter because Derek Taylor and I fight sometimes, but he's a beautiful writer. In your opinion, Lars, what is the worst, best film starring the Beatles in it? Starring the Beatles in it or Beatles, like a Beatle? The Beatles' first US visit, I've only watched recently. I couldn't believe I'd never seen it. Fantastic. Yeah, I just watched it recently. I was going to watch it on Patreon, but um, sometimes I need to, like, not share. Sometimes I'm like, "It's okay for you to just have, like, moments alone with the Beatles." I feel like I'll start watching something and I'll be like, "You should be recording this." And I'm like, "Dude, it's okay for you to do this alone sometimes." Like, it doesn't all have to be for a channel. Like, I don't know how to describe it. That makes me sad too. Like, them acting in it. But no, I mean, like, are we talking about them as all 4? Or are we talking about, because, like, if Broad Street counts, then it's Broad Street. But if it's I would say Help is probably their worst. I like MMT a lot. I really do. The more I've watched MMT, the more I like it. But I don't know, that's just a really fun one. Hard Day's Night is by far the best. I barely remember watching Broad Street. I watched it at the beginning, and I remember feeling very uncomfortable. How was Let It Be their worst, Caitlin? You gotta blame MLH on that. It's very uncomfortable. Let It Be is an uncomfy watch. Ooh, if you like MMT, you'd probably love the film Head by the Monkees. It's got a very similar vibe. So, like, I probably wouldn't though, because The reason why I like it is because of the Beatles. Like, I'm sure I would like the Monkees, but I just don't have space for another project in my head right now. Head is our all-time favorite. Oh, Head is much more professional. Probably everything was more professional than MMT. Is such a mess. Oh my god, I watched MMT and my little sister got so scared at the Blue Jay Way scene, she left the room crying. Fair. Best film Ringo was in is the film Peter Sellers' Magic Christian. Ringo is in a lot of good stuff, actually. But if I want to talk about like my favorite book right now that I'm so excited about, and nobody's going to be happy about this except for Angel, is that, and I already have this digitally, but I got this from my in laws. They had this Live Aid book, just like perfect, barely used. It runs for a pretty penny now, but I got it today. Oh, wait. Hey, Jer, can you bring in that my birthday gift bag? Thank you so much. Sorry. I want to show you guys what I got for my birthday because I'm still feeling sad. If you get for the people that were here last night on the chat, I started getting a migraine in the middle of it, and I pushed it out. I'm looking back, I'm like, that was insane of me for staying on for an hour and 15 minutes after it started. I couldn't see anything. But I think I'm still like a little emotional about it. Hi baby, thank you. Are you listening with headphones on? You can close the door if you want. Oh shit. Is my little box not in here? Can you guys entertain yourselves for like 3 minutes tops? Entertain yourselves. Don't say anything mean about Jack. He will know. You got it? He's bringing it. Reliable person. Is Jack asleep?
I don't know.
Okay. Thank you. Okay, so first and foremost, I got to do something hipstery and say I was into sloths when I was very young. So I was into them before they became a thing. And this is one of many sloths that my mother-in-law has gotten me, and I'm excited about this guy because I can just have him hang out with me. And I kind of like that because I'm like a little autistic, and I like comfy things. I don't like being touched. Shocking at all. But look at this. Look at this little guy. I like being touched by cats and dogs. Okay. So, my mother-in-law got me this packet of stickers, and it's a lot of stickers, okay? And they're all different. I was so excited. I was so excited to see all of these. Like, look at all this shit. I was so pumped. I was like, "Oh my god, look at them." Let's see. Blackbird singing in the dead of night. And then they've got the iconic of them four walking, but they've got all of them cut into four. So the front one was Ringo, and I was like, "Oh, is it a Ringo?" Cuz she knows like that I love Ringo a lot. But like John Lemon. So there's the cute little ones, and then there's like kind of here, yellow sub, which you know what, I'm just going to kind of hide that over here because I'll be taking that. I'll be having that. But, like, look at these. Look at these. Aren't these so cool? Did you ever see Ringo in the movie Blind Man? It's an old spaghetti western from 1970. I haven't seen that one. Let's see. Oh, this one's cool. Okay, so here is the art of yellow sub, and it says "Meet the Beatles." Is this gonna? It's not gonna. It's not gonna focus. And then, of course, naturally, because she bought these online, there's some disturbing AI art. Look at that. Who are those people? Ash, go to sleep. Sleep tight, honey. Let's see here. I love a good who the fuck are those people AI art, honestly. Like, And then this one's kind of weird. Like, what are we doing here? What's the cropping on this? Okay. So, but this one, look at that. Oh, I love that. So, cultural appropriation and uh poor like acting with like mech accents and things like that. It is cringe now, but I'm gonna say like 1970, like it was pretty common. Was it? I don't know. This is what I wish I knew. Like, was that offensive? Because you know, um, there was a lot of stuff still done that was pretty offensive growing up in my childhood. So I don't know. I really tend to not um like rate things media and how it's aged compared to like today's standards because that's not when it came out, you know? But we can say it was a bad accent, like, ooh, cringe, looks bad, sounds bad. Oh, this one's cute. I like this little blue one right here. Okay, but here was the real thing. I love this little sloth guy. This thing is making me feel a little safer. Okay. So, this is so funny. So, I got this little music box. It's so teensy, and my mother-in-law was like, um, I don't think it's a Beatles song. And I was like, "Okay, listen, myself in times of trouble." And she was like, "Oh, isn't that sweet? Isn't that cute? I love this little guy." Like, deep. It made me really happy. Because all I asked for was cash because I am going to see Ringo in like 11 days, 12 days. So I was like, just get me like cash, and you don't need to get me a damn other thing or whatever. So, but I still got Beetle stickers, this little thing, and a sloth. I'm eating good. I'm eating good. And my mom is getting me new glasses and tennis shoes, which both are very needed things. When I say new glasses, I just mean new lenses. These glasses, I fucking love these glasses. I think they look really good on me and they're very comfy. And unfortunately, I'm going to sound like a shill right now, but nobody's paying me to say this. It's Warby Parker, but I'm just going to be sitting here playing this and I'm just going to be like ignoring. Isn't this sweet though? Oh, just it's so tiny too. Look at it. Little baby. It's just going to sit on my desk now to make me happy. So, anyway, I don't know. I got sad. It's all dick. I wonder if that's a real saying. I just love it, but I've only ever heard Ian Hart's Lennon character say it. I have never heard anyone else say it, but I did love how much it was said throughout Backbeat, and I liked using it for my chapter titles. It's all dick. Does anybody Hey Brits, I know that we've got some Brits in here. Alan, are you still here? Alan, is that a saying? Somebody tell me, Brits. Is "it's all dick" a saying? I mean, it definitely should be. Good lord, Lars, you look like a fucking mess, kiddo. Jesus, these people are supposed to respect you. Yeah, right? I'm sitting here with this fucking thing. Idea for Lars Land merch. There's a lot of like things we've talked about making for like stickers and stuff. Caitlin Larkin likes she'll like text me after my videos go up. That's Caitlin on the Beatles channel, Sirius XM. You should go follow her on all of her platforms. Caitlin Larkin. She's just a wonderful person. Like very smart, very, very involved in the Beatles world and extremely nice. Um, and she'll say like, I desperately need a t-shirt that says something, something like "Stop crying, bitch," which was one of the things I said a few times in the George and Paul video. So, I don't know. She's a great host. Listen to her every Friday at work. Isn't she lovely? And I just love her. She's so enthusiastic. I've FaceTimed her a couple times, like, while she's at work, and we'll talk about Beatles stuff, and then she'll be like, "Hang on," and she'll pause and put me on mute. I'll put myself on mute, and then she'll, like, go and do her little weather bit, and I'm just sitting there like, "Oh, I'm in love with you." We're both married. It's not like that. I hope she's not still here, or I kinda do hope she's still here. Are you still here, Caitlin? Oh, sorry. Caitlin, I'm glazing you on live. I just texted her. I'm hitting you on stream. She's great. But yeah, she's a really nice person. So let's see. What else did I miss? It's All Dick by Ash Williams. Those are so unique. Did you ever see Ring of the Blind Men? No, I did not. Magical Mystery Tour is highly underrated. Yeah, I agree. And Alan, I'm sorry. I know that you're underrated and overrated. It is underrated. And I get because it aired in black and white, which was fucking stupid. Yes, bad directing and editing, Caitlin says about Let It Be, and she would be correct. It doesn't sound very Lennon. He was polite, haha. You're funny. Marco, hi Lars, what do you think about rest in peace Brian Wilson? I think Brian Wilson was a musical genius, though I'm not like I like what I've heard about. I've liked what I've heard from the Beach Boys, but I wouldn't consider myself like a real Beach Boys fan. So I don't know if I'm like the appropriate person to talk about him, and therefore I'm not going to because I'll make up I think he's got like one of the most tragic stories of all time. And I remember like after I put up when I took the break for the White Album video and I put up that like post where I was like, I'm Amanda. Who's Amanda? Because I want to wear a sloth. You weren't paying attention. Okay. Anyway, so who's Amanda? That's so funny. No, somebody was like, because I put up this It's Okay, Time Lord guy. I put up this post and I was like, I'm gonna quit. I'm gonna either cancel or postpone this White Album video. And that was the first time I'd not been like ever announcing my subjects until then. And I probably should go back to not announcing my subjects, but whatever. So I like somebody commented and was like, you should do a video on Brian Wilson. And I was like, you think that I'm emotionally okay enough to do a fucking like not a White Album video, but a Brian Wilson video? Are you kidding me? Do you think the Beatles are ugly? A lot of people say that. I don't know. Like, I think that's attractiveness is a very like a personal thing. Like, I don't really think that I think that they're adorable, I get really I'm kinda like, that seems ugly is such a mean thing to say about someone, you know? Like, it's just a mean thing to say. Calling someone ugly. Why don't you pick like, I don't know, if it's a criticism of the Beatles, like, then criticize them properly, but I feel like, going after someone's physical appearance is so, like, lazy and stupid. So I don't know, but I guess that's just a physical attractiveness thing. I love MMT. I used to listen to it on repeat. Me too. MMT album is heavily overlooked. I agree. Carrie, Beatles are not ugly. Carrie, that's gonna be the definitive opinion then. Carrie says the Beatles are not ugly, therefore they are not ugly. I think they're adorable. All of them. I just want to squish their faces. and sometimes slap them. I feel like if I met George Harrison in real life, I would push him in a pool. You know what I mean? I just have some feelings toward him sometimes, and I'm like, I would never want to hurt them though. But I would like to push him in a pool. Probably Paul too. I'm not going to be doing anything physical near John Lennon. I do not want to get in a fight with him, but I would win. Timothy Leary called them aliens. Well, Timothy Leary had things to say, did he not? I'm going to stay on for about 10 more minutes and then I'm going to hop off because I'm sad. I'm in sad boy hours right now. So we'll just do that. I'm sorry, you guys. This was not like a very good chat, was it? I'm going to keep this private after we get off here. So if you were here for it, then you were here for it. And the rest of the world will never see it. So it'll be like, oh, Lars was sad and hanging out with a fucking sloth. John used to not think much of his looks, which is crazy because I think John is so interesting looking. What I liked, Asher Kircher talked about how she thought that they had such distinctive and distinguished faces with so much character. I think that that's really more what we're talking about here, that they're just really interesting looking. Colby, it's not that good. I don't know why. I think he was a good-looking guy. He was great. And Sean, for all of his faults, is a great-looking guy too. Sorry, I don't know. Sorry, Sean. I don't know if that's weird for me to say. The Magical Mystery Tour movie inspired the Monty Python TV show. The Beatles or George Harrison to Monty Python to Dark Horse movies to all that pipeline is a story. And sometimes I'm just like, why are people always robbing George Harrison? Poor George. Not curious enough, I guess. I'm just kidding. No, George asked a lot of questions, but still got ripped off. Very sad. If I were George, what's that guy's name? What is that guy's name? The co-producer of the films, when George found out, and they were really good friends, and George found out that he'd been stealing from him. What is that guy's name? Oh my God. Anyway, if I were George, I would have probably hit that guy. I'm very violent right now, I guess, but I probably would have. Dennis O'Dell. No, it's Dennis something else. It wasn't Dennis O'Dell. It was a different Dennis. Dennis O'Dell was shitty in a different thing, but it was a different Dennis. Oh shit, I was just watching your Rubber Soul video when I noticed you were live. Hey Jade, so I'm about to go off actually. Let's see here. Hang on, guys. I can find out who it was very quickly. Hey Garrett, I'm okay. I'm having sad boy hours right now. It was Dennis O'Brien. Not Dennis O'Dell. Dennis O'Dell was Apple Films. And hilarious to me. He's so funny in Get Back. He's like, you'll have a day sequence, a night sequence. Oh, shit. A torchlight sequence, and then you'll have it done. And it's like, you're crazy. He's just so he's like, he comes off like a cartoon character. He was Peter Sellers' money man, apparently, and he introduced him to George Harrison. Well, maybe George Harrison losing his money gave us anthology. Carrie, you got a point. Yeah, the sloth around the neck gives sad boy hours. Garrett, I'm having hardcore sad boy hours today. I'm trying not to cry. I was like very emotional earlier. After your live stream of bad Beatle authors, I was reading a Bruce Spicer book with inaccuracies, and I thought I want to watch a Lars video. I needed to learn more about Bruce Spicer. I don't know very much. Don't tell me your opinions, guys, about him, because I don't know very much. So I don't want any like influences. Just please. Um, let's see, what was I gonna say? But I will say this about Spicer. Something about that last name bothers me. I'm like, it should be Spitz, it should be Spice, Spicer. Spicer's bothering me. Thanks, Garrett. Garrett's gonna be my buddy today. No, it's not Dennis O'Dell, it's Dennis O'Brien. Adam. Um, was he in the he was in the Get Back documentary. He shows up and he he just is trying to get Ringo. He's trying to get the guys to go to Zabratha. Thank you, Angel. Angel, you understand me. Is Athena still there? Or did Athena leave? Angel's partner, Athena, is a real firecracker, and I love her very much. We ranted together this morning for like 45 minutes. Thinking of You Know My Name. Oh, I love that song. Spicer, I hardly know her. Who up bruising their spies tonight? She's here grading. Oh, grading, I feel like has to be the longest, most boring thing about teaching, right? Magic Mike was a terrible sponger as well as made a pass at poor Cynthia. Magic Mike, you mean Magic Alex? Yeah, Magic Alex sucks. Magic Alex is just like I don't understand how anyone gives him like any support at all. I don't think anybody does. I think we're all like pretty much we see past it, right? Like do you guys know anyone who is like pro Magic Alex? No, Time Lord, you're fine. You're literally fine. Like you don't need to worry about it. Is that I didn't even think about it. As soon as I read Magic Mike, I was like, yeah, that's it. Like you're fine. I literally have a sloth around my neck, Time Lord. Do you really think that I'm like in a place to judge? like, like half the time, if you guys think that I'm super professional and like cool, you have to know that I'm wearing like carpet slippers when I'm filming. Like I have no room of like, you guys, if some people think I'm like so smart and cool, and I'm like, you guys, I'm a fucking moron. Like I'm so stupid. I'm sitting here with a sloth around my neck, drinking a gallon of water. Who's up roading their Abby right now? Not now. He's been outed as a scammer. Thank you, Marco. I agree. I love Athena as we go along with Angel. Was it only John who supported him? Well, Paul, according to George Martin, Paul said all kinds of weird shit supporting him too. I once read a book called What If the Beatles Never Broke Up book, where Magic Alex remodeled the Apple offices and caused the ceilings on multiple floors to fall in. Oh my god. Seriously, that's so accurate. And Carrie Ford, I like the scene in Get Back with the Magic Alex guitar. When Mal keeps coming in with these weird little things that Magic Alex has made, and it's just like it's literally just a piece of plywood and it's got like string, like screwed to it. And he's like, it's a double-sided bass. He's Magic Alex. And here's the thing, like, it's tough because there's so much conversation surrounding the Beatles and heroin. And there's not the Beatles, my God, John and Yoko and heroin. And there are a couple people who will not go on record, like name-wise, saying that they saw Yoko and John like shooting up. But the one that does go on record is Magic Alex saying he saw needles all over their apartment. And so I'm like, well, I don't believe him everywhere. Athena, grading sucks. I bet it does. Well, because it's coming from Magic Alex, like I really can't say that I like can give it that much credit, So I did quote it in my White Album video, but I was like, but I think that it only made it onto the Patreon version because I was having a really hard time with like leaving it in. Almost every band has a Magic Alex who they can't shake. Almost every band gets like some sort of fucking psycho around that's just obsessed with them. Think John just likes eccentric characters. I think do you guys think that maybe John likes to keep little crazies around him so he feels more normal? It's not a bad thing. I could see the Beatles were street smart, but bad with business, extremely bad with business. Sometimes they're in the band, Keith Moon in The Who, yeah. I don't know very much about him, but what I know about him is very, like, interesting. I always like hearing Zach Starkey talk about Keith Moon. It's very interesting. They're very funny, bizarre stories, but then also very nostalgic. Like, people will talk about how Zach Starkey is like, "You're just doing what your dad did," and he's like, "My dad didn't even teach me how to play drums." Keith Moon did. I look like a fucking crackhead right now. Don't respond. If I do or if I don't, I know. You don't need to answer that or say anything about it. I think pretty much everyone looking back at the Beatles agrees that Alex was full of shit. Yeah. Keith Moon was a good drummer. No, Keith Moon was an excellent drummer. I love Alice Cooper's quote about Keith. Everything you've ever heard about Moon is true, and you've only heard about 10% of everything. Everything I hear about him is insane. Like, and everything I hear about bands around that era make me feel like the Beatles were not that scandalous. I'm like, oh, well, they weren't that bad. You know, like, I mean, honestly, and one of the things, like, when I got into the Beatles, I didn't know a lot about, like, the breakup and stuff. And I mean, I just knew kind of little bit here and there, you know? And I was expecting something very horrific because I've heard all kinds of horrific band breakup stories over the years. And then it's like, "Oh, that was it?" You know? Like, they didn't literally kill each other or, you know, anything like, they didn't, um, like, molest or rape young people or, you know, like, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. You know, it's just they didn't have any capital crime. Only one of them died in 1966. They had a clone, like, you know, that's not too bad. I'm joking. I'm joking. I'm joking. The Beatles and the Stones were top of the iceberg for British invasion bands. And I don't know very much about, you know, very many of them. The really strange hang around when you're putting the gear away. When you're trying to say, like, yeah, so I I guess it's time for us to go. And he's like, yeah, you guys were really great tonight. It's just this guy. And you're like, please, I just need a break. Oh, okay. All right, people. It's been an hour. I got to hang out with you guys. I'm sorry for being a sad sack tonight, but it is what it is. It happens, does it not? So anyway, thanks for being nice. I'm glad that we only had one troll moment, and sorry I started out so tough, but anyway, if you were here, you were here. No one else will see it. So, all right. I love you guys, and I will see you next time. I don't know when that will be, though. All right. And y'all come back now, you hear? Bye.